Chapter 8. Safe and Sound. Grandma came back to the car looking thoughtful. She got in and started the engine. "We'll have to go and get the key from Mr. Markham," she said. "Who's he?" James asked as they drove back toward the village center. "Chairman of the church council," Grandma told them. "I know he's got a key to the hall. I have to get it from him before our meetings." "I hope he's home," Mandy said. "Otherwise, I don't know what we're going to do." They drew up outside number 2, the terrace, the home of Mr. Markham. "You two stay here," Grandma said. "I'll go see if he's here." Mandy peered out the car window anxiously. It was getting dark now, and a cold wind was blowing. There wouldn't be any heating in the village hall. She felt sick with fear. If Frisky was in there, the cold would be too much for him. It wasn't long before someone answered the door. Grandma disappeared inside for a minute or two, then came back out waving a key. She hurried down the path and got into the car. "Here we are," she said briskly. She gave the key to Mandy. "Problem solved." Grandma drove quickly along the main street to the village hall. She pulled up outside, and Mandy and James jumped out. Mandy unlocked the door and ran inside. Quickly she turned on the light. The sale things were there, piles of them, bags, boxes, even suitcases full of old clothes, all waiting to be sorted through the following morning. Someone had even already put up long tables. Mandy gave a shiver. It felt freezing, just as she had feared it would. Frisky would be cold and frightened and so bewildered he wouldn't know where he was. But where was Frisky? Mandy and James carefully pulled aside bags and boxes, but there wasn't a hamster cage anywhere. Mandy sat on a chair and burst into tears. "Don't cry, Mandy," James said. "He's got to be somewhere." Grandma joined them and put her arm around Mandy. "Don't upset yourself, darling. Mr. Jenkins must have spotted him and taken him home," Grandma said. "But Mr. Jenkins isn't at home," Mandy sobbed. Grandma got up. "We'll return to Mr. Markham's key. Then we'll go and see if John Jenkins is back." But when they reached Mr. Jenkins' house, it was still in total darkness. "I'll go next door," Grandma said. "They might know how long he'll be." When she came back, she shook her head. "Sorry, Mandy. He won't be back until late. I'm afraid we'll have to wait until the morning." They dropped James off at his gate. "I'll come early and see what's happened," he said. "Okay." Mandy sat sadly in the back of the car. She didn't know how she was going to get any sleep that night. She would be worrying about Frisky all the time. When they got home, Grandpa was waiting anxiously. "Any luck?" he asked as they came in. Grandma shook her head. "No, I'm afraid not." Grandpa put his arm around Mandy. "Try not to worry," he said. "He's got a snug nest and plenty of food. He'll be all right." It seemed really quiet in Mandy's room with no hamster whizzing around on his wheel or tearing in and out of his cardboard roll. His adventure playground still lay on the table where Mandy and James had left it. About 10 o'clock, Mandy heard the phone ring and Grandma's voice answering it. Then Grandma came up the stairs. The bedroom door opened. "Are you asleep, Mandy?" "No, Grandma," she said. "What's up?" "John Jenkins just phoned," Grandma told her. Mandy sat up quickly. Her heart thudded. "What did he say?" she asked anxiously. Grandma sat on the bed. "It seems the whole village has found out about Frisky," she said with a smile. "Jean saw Walter. Walter told Mr. Hadcroft, who had said he knew already. Mr. Hadcroft phoned Mr. Markham, who had just gotten home. Mr. Markham phoned John, and John phoned me." Grandma chuckled. Mandy wrung her hands together. "But, Grandma, what about Frisky?" "John's got him at home," Grandma said with a smile. "He's absolutely fine." "Oh, thank goodness!" Mandy threw her arms around her Grandma's neck in delight. Grandma laughed. "Hey, you're strangling me." Mandy let go. "Sorry, Grandma." Her eyes were shining. "Tell me what happened." "Wait and see John in the morning," Grandma said. "He's taking Frisky to the hall first thing. I said you and James would go and help them arrange the things for the sale. John can tell you the story himself then."